Well, hey there everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Adam. Thanks for hanging out with me again today, and on today's video we have another solder station to check out. So if you guys have not seen, I'll put the link up here to the original one sent over, which was this guy. And I didn't know what to think when they asked me to review this. They sent it in, and I have absolutely fallen in love with this guy. Since then, I've actually ordered a smaller set of arms to go with it, and then I got a little tiny parallel clamp jaws. This thing is super awesome. It stores away in a small little cubby in the corner. It weighs a ton. Huge metal plate on the bottom, and you can do whatever you need to do. I'm not going to go into depth on this one. You guys can check out that video if you want. But they sent me another one over to review. So it comes from Amazon. Comes in this fairly tiny little box. They pack a lot of stuff in this box. So first you get your thick boy plate for the bottom. So this is a 3mm thick solid piece of steel. This one is coated in a nice powder coated blue. I like this a little bit more than my other one. The other one had like a rough kind of textured finish on there. It was also some sort of powder coat, but this shiny surface should not let the solder drippings stick to it as well. It should be a little bit easier to clean this one off. The other one is fairly easy to clean off. It's no big deal, but every now and then you do have to kind of pick one off. Now that's possibly due to the hot solder melting into the powder coat finish. But the cool thing is it's two-sided, so you can use, once this side gets all nasty and marred up after a couple years of use, flip it over, you got a brand new side. Now it does come with the rubber feet to put on it, so it's 4 little kind of really grippy rubber feet, so it won't slide around. Even without the rubber feet, this thing does not want to slide around. It's got that much weight. But it does come with the rubber feet to keep it up off the ground, keep the bottom of it being scratched up. So like I said, after a while, you can pop the feet off, flip it over, and you'll have still a nice clean side. I did not put the feet on here. You'll find out why in a little bit. But as far as accessories, it comes with the super awesome grippy hand. Now, yeah, when this thing goes on, it does not want to come off. You actually have to kind of rock it to break that magnetic pull. But, once it goes on, there is no way that thing's popping off by accident. Now, this is awesome for motors. It's got little soft jaws in here. The motor goes in, clamps really, really well. This can rotate. You loosen up this, and it frees up the entire arm, and you get it into whatever position you want. Once you tighten down this little cam up here, it locks all 3 pivot balls so they can't move. So now this is solid. You can loosen up the jam nut on this, rotate that around, tighten up your jam nut back on that. Typically what I do is I just get these 2 jam nuts really, really tight, and I'll just use this one cam lock. But it is big enough to where you can put a 770 motor in there and still be able to grip hold of it and do all your soldering. So that is super, super nice for motors. You can break in, soldering, whatever you want to do to where you don't want a motor rolling around. Clamp that in there, hook it to your power supply, break it in, whatever you want to do. Plus with the little padded jaws, you're not going to scratch up a really, really nice motor. So this, I love, love, love this attachment. Makes working on motors very, very nice. Now, this came with new arms. So you get 4, they stuck together. So you get 4 of the big flexi bendy arms. Now they have these big clampy tips. When I first saw them, when I first saw these tips, I was like, I don't know if I like them, but they're actually very, very nice. So the originals have your typical alligator clip on here. It has a little set screw down here to where you can take them off, pivot it, lock it back down, and it's just a standard set of alligator clips with some heat shrink tubing on there. The heat shrink tubing is not going to last forever, and technically a little bit more for aesthetics than actually working. Now this one actually has silicone covers over the jaws. So this silicone, you know, you can bump a soldering iron up against it. It's not going to melt through it like the regular shrink tubing would. And with it being much thicker, you know, this is probably 2.5 mil thick. It's going to grip things without marring them up. Plus, it's not going to leave any jaw marks in anything, and it grips very, very well. Now, the jaws, you can take these off. The jaws are still serrated, and it also has a very fine hook tip. I'll get a picture of that to put in here. So you have a full set of serrated jaws and a very pinpoint hook tip on there. But honestly, for soldering wires and general stuff we use, you can be able to just stick whatever you want in there. But also, if you do have something in there delicate that you don't want to mar up, those little silicone covers will help. Now, these don't lock into place, kind of like the set screw ones do. They're just kind of on a threaded shaft. But it gives enough resistance to where they're not just going to spin on you. It has a very powerful spring. That's why it has this big plastic head on there to give you the leverage to open up those jaws. Now, I mean, like I said, they're grippy. So you get 4 equal length pieces on here. The arms bend and stay in whatever shape you want. So there's no spring back or anything like that. You put it there, it stays there. They're really, really nice. And they're covered in this has like that kind of spirally wrap thing. They put some flexible, almost like shrink tubing over top of it. It still has that flexible corrugated, but it kind of gives it a nicer feel. But regardless, either one works about the same. I think this one does have some advantages over this one. Now, they are a lot bigger, so, you know, these occasionally will have an advantage of not having as much in your way. You know, if you're trying to hold 3-4 things together, you've got an awful lot of these big clips in the way. That's the only downside I can see to these clips versus these, but still, if you get 3 or 4 of these in your way, you're kind of jockeying for room anyway. It's kind of just the unfortunate nature of soldering. You also get 4 of their little standoffs. So these are great for board work. You can set them down. The pins will actually fall into like the screw holes of a board, and you can set them in there, drop your board on there, do your work, flip your board over, do more work, that type of thing, so they'll stay in position. But there's also many other uses for these, but that's kind of the main gist of those. Now, the cool thing with this one is this one now comes with a work light. Oh, I blinded myself. So you have a LED work light. The work light itself has 2 spots, main focal point, and then you have a secondary one that has a very, very high magnetic rate. So your focal point on this magnifying lens is probably about 4 or 5 inches, and this one's more like 2 or 3 inches. So if you're doing really, really fine work, you know, you can really get in there. But overall, it has a really good kind of depth. You know, you can get something a little bit closer, a little bit further away, and it's still fairly in focus. It takes, you know, a pretty good movement to get out of focus. But again, this is on the same exact rod as that, so you move it to wherever you want, and it's right in the spot. This can run off of, you know, your laptop, a power brick. You know, you can take this to the track, run this off of a power bank, and you'll have plenty of time to run the little light. Now, the light has 3 different modes. So you have kind of a bright white mode, you have a cool white mode, and then the yellow light mode, and then you cycle through those. Now, the cool thing is, say if you want like the warm yellow light, you turn it off, it comes right back to the warm yellow light. So it doesn't matter what one you set it on, it comes back to that same setting. I like that. I've had similar lamps to this, and when you turn it off, it defaults back to the brightest, super bright white. And, you know, I may want like a dimmer warm yellow where I'm working, and every time I'm like, ugh, and have to turn it down. So kind of nice that it defaults back to whatever you set it to, not whatever it thinks it was, whatever it was programmed to. So you can run this off of the included wall wart, a power strip with USB in there, your laptop, a power brick, whatever. This one has the super strong mega base magnet. Like I said, it's easy to pop off. You just rock it towards you, it pops right off. But if it's down, you don't have to worry about, you know, you moving this around and that base popping off. So you can set this over in the corner. It get your wire out of the way, get your lens in here, and still be able to get your arms set up, get those tucked in here, all that. So why did I not put it all together, and why did I leave the plastic on everything? Well, one of you guys is going to get this. Like I said, I'm still in love with this guy. I have used the heck out of this thing. There's solder beads stuck to it. There's flux drips all over it. But there's no damage to it at all. So I've got years of use out of this. And, you know, it would be cool to have the new and the light and everything. So I don't need two. You know, it's cool to have extra tools, but I don't need two of them. And, you know, I've got plenty of use out of this, and I don't want to send somebody something that's used. And I kind of like this one, so I'm keeping that one. So really all I'm giving up basically is the light, but in here it's next to sunlight anyway, so I have plenty of light in here. Let's get into the whole thing. I don't want to make this a whole drawn out long giveaway. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a, actually I'm not even going to pick a winner. My wife is actually going to pick the winner. Now, you have to be in the U.S. Unfortunately, this does weigh a fair amount. It's going to be in a fairly big box. I'm going to put it back in a bigger box so it stays protected. So overseas shipping is just ridiculous. Unfortunately, Canada, trying to get anything up there still is a mess because there's a month-long delay in backlog of stuff going out to Canada. So right now, I'm going to keep this in the U.S. A week from today, the airing of this, so 1 week later, I'm going to have my wife sit down. I'm going to narrow it down to probably a top 10 comments that I feel are worthy, and then I'm going to let her pick one. She doesn't know all you guys. I know I know a lot of you guys, so I think it's more fair for her to pick one. So all I want you to do is tell me what projects or project or just general use things you have coming up or need to do that you would use this for. You don't have to write a book. You don't have to beg and plead. Just tell me what you're working on. Hey, I've got I need to replace a motor in my whatever, and I've got to shorten up some ESC leads for my buggy or whatever it is. You don't have to get into a 3-page essay to enter. Just leave a comment. Let me know what you guys are working on, how you guys what you guys are going to be working on with this, and I'll let her pick a winner. So in a week's time, I'll pick the winner. I will make an announcement of who won, a real quick video. You guys will have 2 or 3 days to get back to me. If you don't get back to me, then I'm just gonna have to pick an alternate and contact them, and we'll go till somebody actually claims it. So anyway, guys, this is going to make somebody very, very happy. These are really, really great solder stations. I can't say enough about them. If you guys don't win and you're still interested in one of these, I will have a link down in the description to these. But yeah, I'm going to keep all the reviews on the channel, specifically RC related. At this point, I'm not even taking in the Amazon RC cars at this point. They're just, what reviews I do, I think are going to be things that you guys will actually enjoy, actually potentially get a whole lot of use out of, and just having that extra stress on me at this point of doing reviews for this car and that car and this car and that car, it's too much. Anyway, guys, I rambled on enough. Good luck to one happy person that will be getting one of these, and I wish I could give out more, but they sent me one. Hey, everybody out there, you guys be happy, be healthy, be safe, and I will catch you on the next one. See you guys.